Guys, welcome back to another video in C programming course. Myself, I'm Anand Samanhar and I'm a campus leader co. So, without any further delay, let's move on to today's agenda. In our today's class, we're going to discuss about file handling and all about file handling. We're going to discuss in our today's class. So, and how to we have different types of file handling functions and how to read the file, what is a file handling basically, and all those things. How to write and how to read the file that we're going to do, and all those things we're going to explore more on it. So let open this code blocks editor. So here I'm going to write it file handling. So here this is what file handling I have mentioned here. So now let's talk about the file handling and then more about file handling, all those things. So okay, let me tell you one thing here. So basically why we need a file handling and what does mean, all those things let's discuss. So as of now, till now we have discussed all the functions, all those things, and this is the last and final concept that we want to talk about, file handling. And so we have discussed all those many functions and all those things we have discussed, and we have written a lot of code and a lot of things we have done, right? Even we have done some of the projects, all those things we have done. But all the things that we have done just with the terminal, just we have written something and then we just have printed something and then we got it in an output screen. That's what we got it. But when it comes to file handling, if you want to store the output, like what are we actually getting inside output, we're not actually storing it. Whenever we run it, we're just getting the output. That's not enough. Once after this, when I close the code blocks, there is no longer available the output screen, right? But the thing is, it's not. Is it thing? Do we not? But we also want to store somewhere in our system or somewhere inside our database or something else. We have to store something where then only we can actually see like the process, all those things, right? Like the output and all those things, the functionality. That's the reason we have this file handling concept. So we can actually store the data inside a text document or anything. What you want to store something, you can store it inside your file. Or if you want to read something from your file and you want to read something from your file, you can do it. You want to write something inside a file, you can do it. That's what. If you want to store something inside a file, this is what the file came here. So we have a lot of functions available inside a file handling, and then few things are available. So let's actually explore more on it, and then come to this code blocks and then do it. So here, this is the Greek side. We have file handling over there. So these are the functions available in file operation, and not only these things, even more available. This f open, in the sense if you want to open a file, then you have to use this particular function. If you want to close a file, then you use this. If get as gets to read a file, and to write a file also there is available, and for printing this something, all those things available. Uh, so these are the things available inside the file function, files functions. These are the file functions, and then and these are the modes. If you could see this, this is a syntax. Basically, you have to mention this file here, and then the pointer type you have to mention, and then this is the thing you have to mention. This is the f open. So f open function. This is a f open function. Inside f open function, you have to mention the file name, and then you have to mention the mode. So this f open function takes two parameters. One is the file name, and another is the mode, whichever mode you want to mention. So let's see the mode here. They have mentioned w. So what does a w? And even we have these are the modes in C. This R indicates such file, and then the file successfully open and loads in memory and set up a pointer, and then first character. If the file cannot be opened, so it for R for reading the. If you want to read something inside file, then you're going to use R. If you want to write something, then use W. Like that, we have a lot of things available. You can have a look of to this article. But right now, in our example, we're going to look into these particular things, R and W. If you want, you can also try with this A, R place, W place, A place, all those things you can also try it by yourself. So this is what the syntax, and based upon the modes you want, you just have to specify inside this. So that is what you have to mention here. Let's actually explore more with an example so that you can actually better understand. This is a syntax you have to follow. There's nothing thing can do. So this is a syntax that you have to follow for file handling. If you want to do file, then you have to follow this thing. That's it. So now let's explore with these things. So uh, now here I'm going to do this basics in file handling, and then do with file handling all those things. Let's explore with these things, and then we'll more on explore more on it, and then that's what we're going to do here. Um, that's what we're going to do here. So let's actually start with program to open a file and then write it and then close the file. So that's what we're going to do right now. Program write. So we'll look into write. Okay, write function. First, let's look into the write. We're going to open a file and then we'll write something inside a file and then we'll close the file. That's what we're going to do here. And also we're going to explore more on it. Read also. That also we're going to do. So no need to worry it at all. So now inside it, so we have a function, and then so now here inside a function, I'm going to mention a file here. So this is a syntax that you have to follow. That's what I have said. So file, and then file pointer fp. So it's nothing but data types you can see. So that's what we have to follow this thing. And then now here, I'm going to mention like character type. But here I'm just using the strings. Like I just want to write a string. If you want, you can also use the numbers also. That's your wish. Uh, Kind of size I, and then I just want to uh, write something with this thing, or else we can take it to input from the user. That also available, right? You know, the ask a user to enter this thing. It has size. So if you want to work with this getters, then you have to use this data file hashtag include string.h. That is what you have to use it to. That is what we're going to do here. And then now now let's move to this particular. Let's point. Let's use this particular file pointer that we're going to mention here. And then once after this, we're going to use this function f open. So f open is a function that what we have look into right now. That by US in this website we have mentioned it, right. F open is a function in file function, like file concepts. So that what we're going to mention here, f open, and then here what have to do here, we have to mention a file name. For example, text. So we're going to mention the text document, text file, that notepad you can say. That's what we're going to open here. And then the mode going to be W. That's what we have to look into it right now. So all the modes and then functions, that's what we're going to do. And then here we're going to mention this if condition. If e equals to, if it is not pointing to any of this file, it's not pointing to any of this file, if it is null, this particular file is null, then we're going to print up, so that we should also understand, right? So it's not mandatory, but why we actually using it, because if it is nothing, if it's not pointed to any of the file, then we should also understand, like, because the output scheme will be like blank, so that we don't understand what the way the output is figuring out. So that the reason, if you give like all the specify with this printf function and all those things, then you can actually uh, like you can actually easily understand what actually happening. That's it. Soy.text uh, not opened. That's it. We're going to mention. So after this, after if condition, we're going to mention the else condition. Yeah. So inside else block. So now we're going to mention this printf function, that is, I'm going to mention this the file. The file is now opened. That's what I'm going to mention here out. And then inside the else block only, I'm going to mention. Uh, I'm going to use this particular one more function, that is string length, for getting the for finding the string length of this particular psi array. Okay, what are the array that we have mentioned here? Calculate type array. We're going to calculate this thing because we are actually mentioning this 50 size, but so it's not mandatory to enter the user to enter the same 50, right? 50 character. Maybe he can enter the 10. So based upon the user enters, that's what we're going to print. So because if we give the 50 itself, then it's going to, even if even user it doesn't enter, they're going to keep on going until 50. That can be going to make problem for you. That's the reason we just mentioned this particular. So psi, and then here greater than 0, and then Windows kernel backend. Within this, I'm going to mention f puts. So f puts is a function to write inside that particular file. So what are the file we have mentioning is i.text. So what are the user enters, that everything going to be put inside the that particular file. So these are the function inbuilt functions. So that we have to follow. F put is a inbuilt function. So and then chai. And then, so size nothing but this is the character type array. So that's what I have to remember, because here also we use file name also sai, but it's a text dot text. That's what you have to remember. Whenever you use dot text, then it's a file. Whenever you simply sai, then it's an array. So that's what I have to remember here. So and then fp file pointer, and then semicolon, and then again one more thing, f puts backward slash n fp. And then now here, once everything is done here within this if block. So once everything is done here, now here I'm going to close the file as well, uh, because once after reading the file, then we don't want to stay the same thing inside our main memory, right? We just want to also close the file, because or else it's going to be available inside the main memory itself. That's going to be memory going to be overloaded. So that's what I just want to remove it as well from the memory as well. So this is a function to to close the file as well, and then we can print something here like uh, uh, successfully successfully run backward slash m. So this is what we have done here, and now let's run this, because here we haven't side.text I haven't mentioned here at inside. So this is the path where I have stored this project inside my local memory. I just went to over there. So I have saved in my E folder, and then C program, C course, and then file, and I have stored inside there. So that's what is I have opened in that particular file folder. You can also mention on your folder wherever you have stored based upon the your availability. So wherever you have, I just saved in my E folder. So I just went to there. So now when I run this particular thing, it asked me to enter some text here. So now file is open and data has successfully written. Now let's see this. So now here. So before that there is no available this i.text, but now we got the i.text. Let's open it. So now we got it, and now side of text. So everything has been written over there. Has been written over there. So this is the Simon. So whatever I have mentioned as a user, whatever the user has mentioned there, everything will be written over inside the file. So that's what. So all the data we can actually write inside the file, and then we can retrieve the data from the file to our thing. So that's what we're going to do. So this is the file now. Side effect. Before actually we don't have a file at all. Even we can have this file. So for example, now this file is available. So again, I will run it. So this side.text is already available inside it. Before that, it's not available. Even though the compiler itself created and then it has been written this content. So now let's see this. So now let's run it out. Now it actually again asking me, and even this thing also available side.text. But here now I'm going to mention something else like. When I mentioned this is an example, file is open and the data is being successfully written. Now let's open the side.text. So now see, if you could see here, this is an example. So everything is overwritten by the compiler itself. Before that, used to be this is a Sai Manohar, and now it became to this is an example. So that's what everything has been changed by the compiler itself. Even if you have a file or even if you don't have a file at all, the compiler going to be created by themselves and then going to store the data. That's what we're going to do. But when it comes to read only, right now we're just writing it out. But when it comes to reading, then you must and should have this particular file. Then only you're going to read, because we are actually reading from the file, right? We're not writing it. So when it comes to writing, even if you don't have the file, then it's also fine. The compiler itself, they're going to write it. But when it comes to read only mode, then you should have this particular file. Default you have to file, you should have a file, then only you're going to uh, tackle the output, or else it's going to be shown an error. Let's see this that thing as well. Let's see that one also. Read only mode, read a file. Let's see that one as well. So let's copy this one and then let make it changes so that you can actually better understand what changes because by that only you can actually, and you have to by just by comparing, and then you can also understand what you're actually doing here. So for reading also, we're going to have like the same thing, the file pointer and the characters. So what are the character you want to mention, and then we no need of this particular thing, the event or something, or we no need all those things. And now we have to open this file, because even if you want to read or write, anyways you have to open the file, right? So we're going to open a file, and then here the mode going to I'm going to change it as a read mode. R is nothing but a read. So that's what we actually already look into here, the modes. You can actually explore more on this A, R plus and all those things. You just try it out yourself so that you can actually better understand. Even the functions also, we have used only, not only these functions, we have a lot of available functions available. So you can actually Google it out and then you can find it out. You just try it out by yourself so that you can actually understand. You have to understand by yourself. That's what happened. That's what I want you to guys to do. So now here this the same thing we want to mention. The file is not open, and then here else file is now open, and then now we're going to have this while inside the while here we're going to mention few things here. Yeah, the flow, yeah, file flows, everything is same. We have to read from the file. So we're going to use a loop, because we have a character type. String can't be read by themselves, right? So we have to use a array itself, the character type array. So we're going to whenever you want to read something from the output screen, also we're going to use this loops, right? Only right, the for loop or whatever maybe. So here I'm going to use a while loop, and then f gets. So f gets, before that we have used this f puts. F puts is nothing but writing something, and then if gets is like reading. That's it. and then f puts inside f put we're going to mention this Sai array, and then 50 characters. So we have 50 characters, and then FP. So what how many characters that you have inside the file, based upon that you have to mention the size as well, and the array you have to mention everything going to be shown inside array, and then we're going to print it out in our output screen. That's what we're going to do. And then now here, printf function percentages, we're going to print the size here, and then again this f close, and then has been has read successfully. So now the file is open, and this is an example. So in our the same thing, we haven't changed anything, right? So now this is what I have written here. So we got it on output screen. So data has been read successfully. So this is what we got it on output screen as well. So even if you want, we can also make a changes here. And then again I'll go to back to here, and then I'll just run it out. This is an example. Sorry, that's it. So that's what we got it now. This is what simple. That's it, nothing else. So you will try it out yourself with some more modes that we have here. So that's what I want you to do. That's what your task is to be do. And this is what about the file handling, guys. So thank you for watching. If you have any queries, please do mention in the comment section so that I can help you out if you have any question. And thank you for watching. If you like my work, please do like, share, and subscribe to Co Focus.